Physical training makes life easier. All music majors, is all music majors except one of the guys. It's very. One of the guys is a percussion major, but the guy has a master's in percussion. It just makes life easier so we can communicate. We can get to where we want to faster because we know how stuff sounds before. We don't have to like guess around on a guitar or a keyboard. We know where we want to go before we want to do it. And there's also this, when you have a knowledge of where things usually tend to go and where things, you can also it's easier to change stuff up for yourself because say a lot of times you'll hear like a 5-1, 5-1. And you can throw in flat 6 or something like that, but you know where to take it from there without sounding redundant a lot.
We actually have a couple people who are not non-musicians, but like untrained musicians. They're not classically trained. And they sometimes get very frustrated because our rehearsals move very quickly because one of us will say, well, this is the 5 chord, and then we're going to a flat 3, and then we're going to go here. And, it's something in Dorian or Phrygian, perhaps. And because of that, we have a very common vocabulary that we can use. And so we can get things done a lot more quickly, and we can, we can explain harmonies to each other more quickly, or we can write tunes a little more quickly.
That when you're playing another person, like in a competition, then and I perform, I'm doing it from my own perspective.
I don't really think I'm breaking any rules in improving. If anything, it's kind of like you tweak it a little. You find like all the loopholes. In improving, it is very free. There is no strict, you have to do this, you have to do that kind of thing. But at the same time, you can't do certain things also. Like you can't start improving this random scale when you're in like C, you can't do something in D. There is some kind of form to it. You can't just kind of get up and start playing half notes. It doesn't kind of work that way. But, I mean, there's no rules that are broken, if anything. You just kind of mold it, bend it. think that there are moments of separation. You can't be stiff. Like in a lot of classical music, I'm not saying that playing musically doesn't mean you have to be stiff, but you have to follow the rules. Like the composer wants you to do something a certain way, and you play it. And then in Jacare, you don't. So it's not necessarily like. I think they do complement one another though, because unless you do have that classical background, you really can't play the Jacare stuff, because a lot of the licks or a lot of the melodies, a lot of the ideas that Dr. Shimura and everyone else in Jacare comes up with is based off of classical music. A lot of the improvings, a lot of random ideas, maybe like a 16th note set is based off of maybe like a Bach prelude or some kind of classical background. So they are separated and like the way you play it, but they're also complementing one another, because like without one you can't do the other.
You know what I